And the thing is, I don't
Look at the
know.
last one around the table.
Yeah, never know, obviously, where you get it from, right?
Really? Never. They went to court. Wow.
That is very
Hang out at schools. What?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Superintendent will please call the roll of this special meeting of July 7th.
Ms. Chisholm?
Yeah.
Ms. Cormier?
Present.
Ms. Crowley?
Present.
Mr. Kissel?
Here.
Mr. Lipset?
Here.
Mr. Morenin? Present. Dr. Wells?
Here. Okay. First up, approval of minutes.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. Public comment. I know members have received several emails regarding the action today, but there was one email that came to me that Ms. DeSimone asked me to read. And so I'll just do that as under the public comment section here. So I'm reading from the thing. Good morning. My name is Melissa DeSimone, and I have twins in the Reeves heading into 4th grade. I wanted you to be there today to speak in person, but I'm at work. I'm writing to you all because I am concerned that Dr. Crowley will be recommending Maureen Ryan as interim assistant superintendent today. That would mean that Ms. Ryan will be running SPED, overseeing herself, as there will be a period of time between her moving from assistant superintendent and as a role SPED director being filled. The only person she will have to report to is Dr. Crowley. This makes me uncomfortable for many reasons, but mostly because my experience with Ms. Ryan was not a good one. She fought with me for 3 years, even taking my cases to BSEA to deny my child services. It took me 3 years having to pay for an advocate and my child receiving a third disability diagnosis for them to do one of the tests that took me to court over. And the test showed my child was the first percentile across the board, and before my child was finally given an IEP, but in one area. I still have to continue to fight the SPED department next year to acknowledge that my child needs services in all the areas. The position of assistant superintendent of student services will give Ms. Ryan a larger reach to students outside of SPED. She will be dictating a lot without any oversight. I personally don't think she is qualified for this position, and I think her track record with the students and disabilities and their families should be factored into this decision. She has lied to my family, promised me things, and then blindsided me with court hearings. She has cost my family money, and my child has lost 3 years of fair education. I urge you to talk to current SPED families to get a pulse on their experience with Ms. Ryan and what do they think about this. My experience with Ryan is not unique. The process should be open one, and you're supposed to interview outside candidates for permanent positions. I'm asking you to be transparent about the process and truly look for a qualified candidate to take over Dr. Baldessari's position. I'm asking you to please vote no on this recommendation. We can do better. Our kids deserve better. Thank you, Melissa DeSimone. So that was one that you didn't get, but I got, so I wanted you to be aware of it. I'll forward. We also got comments from Laura. Let's see, her last name, sorry. Laura Lauria. Yep, and I think you got that one. And we also got one from Amy Penicella. I think you guys all got that too. So those ones I'll respond to, let them know you got, and they'll be forwarded to Ms. McLeod for permanent record. Okay, with that said, not seeing anyone else for public comment. We have essentially one item. The school committee vote on the superintendent's recommendation for the appointment of an interim assistant superintendent for student services. Dr. Crowley.
Sure, thank you. So as you know, we've had internal movement, and it's been a challenging end of the school year, but we're looking to the future. And that being said, I would like to recommend that Maureen Ryan, who has been serving since last spring as the acting assistant superintendent, be moved to the, I'm recommending the appointment as the interim assistant superintendent for this school year. Ms. Ryan has done, even this spring, yeoman's duty covering both the special ed and student services department. There are a lot of things that happen in school districts every day that public and even the school committee don't know about, that we need people that are qualified to address. In this student services realm, a lot of things that happen are at the building level. We have issues as it relates to civil rights or Title IX. There are definitely skill sets and levels of detail that need to be followed. In my experience over the past few months, but over the past 3+ years with Ms. Ryan, I found her level of commitment to detail, student success, exemplary. And so, it's a tough job, to be honest with you, and I understand some of the feedback as it relates to the position. COVID's done no favors as it relates to student achievement, and a lot of students are in great need, and for that reason, I feel like it's important to make this recommendation now, sooner rather than later, so that we can move the whole entire district ahead. That said, again, I'm recommending this as an interim position with full transparency to try to open this up to a full search late fall even. There's no agenda, but we need to have people in positions over the summer and into the fall so that we can open schools successfully in September. And so for that reason, I appreciate the committee coming together, in early July, early morning, to do this. And I think that, again, the intent is to try to help move. There's a lot of things, as I say, that happen during the summer. Everyone's always surprised that we work during the summer, and the majority, a significant amount of work happens during the summer as we get ready behind the scenes to open schools. And so it's an important position to the organization, and for that reason, again, I appreciate your time today. I did also want to call the committee's attention, if you want me to. I provided an organizational chart. It's a draft form, because one of the questions might be, like, what would fall under the umbrella of student services? And, I'm not going to necessarily read per se, but a lot of things that happen in an organization need a place and a person to whom they arrive with. So as an example, in this case, nurses, the special ed department, guidance chair people, RSPs, paras, a lot of people would wind up under the umbrella of student services. And so, for this reason, as we register students during the summer, we have the need for nurses to be coming in. Someone needs to coordinate who those nurses are and when and so forth. So there's other tweaks to the org chart, but I'll stop because I just want to make the recommendation as it relates to Ms. Ryan.
Okay. Before we get a motion, is there any questions to the superintendent? Mr. Lipset.
I just wanted to ask a little bit about the timetable in terms of a permanent position. You mentioned late fall. Do you have a sense of sort of the process overall?
Yeah, so
how public the search will be?
They're incredibly public, the same way we would do it, if it were, in the spring. But I would think that we would post it internally, externally, invite multiple stakeholder people into the process, including school committee, and to go that route.
Yeah, I think given the turnover in the administration as a whole, a really full open process would be a good thing for the public to see. And then the other question I had was in terms of special education oversight. Mm-hmm. It looks to me, given the sort of the revisions on the organizational chart, that a pretty significant chunk of the job of assistant superintendent for student services would now fall under the special education umbrella. Are you looking at an interim special ed director or anything like that, given that Ms. Ryan is moving up into a new role?
Yeah, so the vision for the department would be assistant superintendent, and then Assistant Director of Student Services, and both of those people would have oversight of the special ed department.
Okay, so it wouldn't be wearing two hats in the sort of traditional sense?
No, right.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Could you just elaborate on how it'll go during the interim period with the special ed department? Who will be overseeing the day-to-day activities, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so I think ultimately the day-to-day would arrive with the, I mean, there's sort of a
And just during the interim period, not finally, but are you, great.
So there's coordinators now at the elementary and secondary level that would feed to the assistant director, that would feed to
Okay.
the interim assistant superintendent.
Okay.
No, Mr. Lipson answered asked my questions. Thank you.
I jumped the line, sorry.
You're the first one I saw.
The only question I had, and it's just a matter of semantics, you had said last spring. I'm assuming you mean this past spring.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, because
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
potentially it could have meant the.
Sorry.
And I think, the same thing on that. So the positions in the fall would be, if Ms. Ryan gets this, then there'd be researching and finding someone, and it could be Ms. Ryan, or are we talking just special ed? Maybe I lost that piece. Special ed director, the replacement in the fall.
So what we're proposing here, the org chart, is sort of a restructuring of the verbiage and modernizing the verbiage. The assistant director of student services would be what would previously be called the SPED director, if you will.
Okay.
And I'm sorry.
I'm going to.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Ms. Chisholm?
So would that be the same person that currently we have in-house doing the same job, just being promoted to SPED director?
No, we don't have anybody in-house in that position.
But I just want to
Right.
make sure that people know that this is a new position that we're going to be adding.
If I
It's a
could,
backfill with a different title.
right, I think
Right.
they're changing the name of special education director to assistant director
Right.
of
Student services.
services.
All right.
So it's a change of name.
Okay.
And personnel can deal with that, and finance for any
Right.
things like that. But again, this is the draft plan.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, and then coordinators on both, under the two assistant superintendents, are those special ed coordinators?
We have, so there's coordinators within my
Yeah.
department, there's coordinators that are in the special education department, and then previously with Dr. Baldessari, there's also some coordinators that we had shared, and then again, that's for,
You guys just to work out?
we can talk later, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, because I just saw them both, I'm like, all right, I just want to make sure that we just...
Mr. Lipset?
And I apologize if this has been answered already, there's just a lot of moving parts here. So the Assistant Director of Student Services, do we have someone who's going to be filling that role interim right now?
No.
Okay, so that's sort of the,
Yeah.
going back to the idea of two hats, so it seems like that's something
Correct.
that
Right.
Ms. Ryan would be, if she's approved for this position, handling both of. That might be something that we should be looking into, is getting someone in either as an interim or do a search for that position as soon as possible.
That's why we're here.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but for the assistant director position.
Yeah, exactly, right. No, you're right, Andrew. Yeah, thank you.
And so I think, as I mentioned, both those issues should be dealt with separately. The assistant director
Yes.
will be dealt with
Yeah.
finance and...
Finance and personnel, right.
It's appropriate. Okay, Mr. Mulrennan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My concern to Mr. Lipson as well, a timeline. Here we are, July, whatever it is. This action takes place now. Are we talking come September, we open stuff up again, come November, come January, to get other positions filled? Because I'm looking at, the draft of the new organizational chart, and again, the parts that, now you've got Ms. Young doing the FACE program. I'm trying to figure out, fill in the blanks where Dr. B was doing things. We had a great support system with him and Adriana, and I've seen them work together. I'm just trying to figure out where the family dynamic is placed in this new organizational chart just for families. I don't see a lot, English language learners, family tracking needs, such things like that, other than Ms. Young getting the FACE department.
Yes.
I just didn't know Are you putting things in the wrong place too soon, or perhaps,
Boston's a
you know, I'm talking about
related
the, you know, maybe still consider Ms. Ryan sped director, make things happen over the summer, perhaps try to find someone. Looks like we're losing out some of the services that we had acquired through Dr. B's position. Now we're kind of overlapping, and I don't want to see burnout with our administrators.
No, I mean, I think I understand. I mean, this is a draft, and, you know, we tried to put it together so, to the best of our knowledge, so that we're at least acknowledging. I don't perceive that we're not going to lose anything. We just need to rethink where things land. And, you know, as people, you know, there's a lot of moving parts during the summer. And, I mean, we have a commitment to the families in the city of Woburn, and we'll maintain that commitment.
And just to the same point, Mr. Chairman, you know, Ms. Ryan's, you know, the email, whether you agree with it or not, it's just kind of like coming out of COVID. To me, I feel as though Ms. Ryan's role as SPED director, dealing with our families and helping them through the post-COVID experiences, getting ready for September. If we could just devote her attention to that, and perhaps, I guess, through the administration, dole out some other duties for the summertime months, spend the summertime trying to fill the other positions that I think we've lost because of, you know, the rearrangement, but that's just my opinion. I'm just thinking that after COVID, our families have a lot to deal with going into September of this, you know, coming up this fall. But again, that's just my opinion. And okay, it's not really a question, it's more of a comment.
Ms. Cormier.
Hi, thank you. I just feel like there's been a lot of disruption in the department as well as overall in the district, and I think that with a lot of our feedback that we've gotten and a lot of the recent experiences, I don't think that this is a good move at this point. I think that having somebody come from wherever, whether it's outside or someone else inside, I think that remaining the SPED director right now is probably the best approach at this point, and then moving on from there. I don't want to see any basically sudden movements at this point. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendation and appoint Maureen Ryan as interim assistant superintendent of student services.
I have a second on that. Do I have any discussion on the motion?
I have a comment. So this position, assistant superintendent of student services, is essential to what the district does, what it wants to do, to caring for families, particularly vulnerable families. And I'm quite amazed that members would say that we don't need it, or we should wait, or we should leave a gaping hole in the central office and not fill this position. I'm looking at what this position is capable of doing, the fact that Ms. Ryan has already been doing it, and I feel like we would be doing a huge disservice to children that are suffering from school refusal, attendance issues, mental health issues, because we wouldn't have someone program building during the summer. So I feel like this position, which we fought for with the mayor and the city council, particularly for this purpose, I think is essential that we give the superintendent that third person in central office immediately. This is a crucial position for the district. So I am in favor of the superintendent selection. I hope, and I know that the superintendent intends to open up the position and make a transparent process, but Title IX investigations are ongoing. Children are having severe difficulties with homelessness and various other problems, and to not have somebody leading that department is, so I'm in favor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those
No.
opposed?
Opposed?
Roll call, please.
Ms. Chisholm?
Yes.
Ms. Cormier?
No.
Ms. Crowley?
Yes.
Mr. Kissel?
Yes.
Mr. Lipset?
Yes.
Mr. Morenin?
No.
Dr. Wells?
Yes. Motion carries. Okay. I don't believe that there's any other business we need to conduct today unless committee members have. So I'll accept a motion.
I just said for future agenda items, I
Yep.
just wanted to mention, in December, when we had a policy subcommittee, we had some policies that were on the table
Okay.
that never came off.
Okay.
So if
So
we
we'll get
can
them on.
do that for September.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to table the rest of the agenda.
Okay. Okay. Second on that? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Kissel?
Real quick, again, semantics, there will be a regular meeting of the Woburn School Committee. You mentioned the word special early on, so I didn't know if it made a difference. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I didn't want to
Yep.
have the public say.
It's just not one that's usually
Yeah, no, all right.
agenda, that's all.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right. Again, thank you, the members, for doing this. Thank you for the administration for filling the gap, and we look forward to the full search in the fall. Okay.
Congratulations, Lauren.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, congratulations. Okay, have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second? Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Hopefully we won't meet.